Tonight on Life and Times. They patrol the rubble after a disaster, but who makes sure there are enough rescue dogs to answer the call?
It is a fascinating thing to see an unwanted animal that is in danger of being euthanized within a few days. See that dog turn into a wonderful, highly trained animal.
And then,
retirement doesn't have to mean the end of a career. In many cases, it can represent the beginning of a new one. The National Purpose Prize recognizes that by awarding $100,000 to 5 individuals over the age of 60 who are making a difference. One of this year's winners is Wilma Melville of Ojai. She used to train young minds, but now in her second career, she's working with man's best friend to help those in need.
They were called to service in New York looking for survivors on September 11th. They were in New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina. And most recently, they were in Minneapolis after a highway bridge collapsed into the Mississippi River. Their search and rescue dogs critical to finding survivors in the aftermath of a disaster. When it comes to the sense of smell, few animals can beat the power of a dog's nose. But despite their proven value, there is a serious shortage of search and rescue dogs. That's where this training center in Ventura County comes in.
All right, let's hook her up and take her back.
This is the National Disaster Search Dog Foundation based in Ojai. Today, Fire Captain Mark Valentine is helping to train other handlers.
If he goes across and nails it in the middle, he's got a whole south end of the pile that you've got to now direct him with the wind at his back.
He and his dog Val, short for Vallejo, have been together for almost 8 years.
My dog is my best friend. He's my confidant, my work companion. But he also is a tool.
A tool that gets sharpened here, so to speak. The foundation trains more search and rescue dogs than any other facility in the country.
Now I'm going to be very directive with you. I'm going to tell you step by step.
The driving force behind the center is not who you'd expect. She's a 73-year-old retired school teacher from Ojai.
All right, because we're training you to train Ranger. All right. So
Wilma Melville started the nonprofit 12 years ago. After retiring as a physical ed teacher, she was looking for a second career. Then in 1995, the federal building in Oklahoma City was blown up. Wilma and her dog Murphy volunteered to help search for survivors. That's when she realized the training she and her fellow handlers received just wasn't enough.
The groups who did the training or attempted to were just really good-hearted, generous people, but they didn't have enough together to do a competent, capable, really good job of training new handlers who were training a new dog.
So she decided to build her own program, intensifying the training. 8 months for the dogs and more than a year for their human handlers.
Okay, so you're going to be ready for that wait.
Today, Davis Doty from the Orange County Fire Authority is training with Ranger. Davis has been waiting to get a search and rescue dog for more than a year.
Fine. Easy. Wait. Okay. Good. Sit.
Okay, now what did the dog do incorrectly?
The incorrect thing the dog did was to break off of the teeter-totter and come to me and not finish to the end.
Okay, now, had you simply moved your hand, he would have moved all the way down.
Yes.
So let's do it
Ranger?
again.
This course in the last week has been quite intense, a lot more than I thought it would be.
Walk with him, perfect. Very nice.
Very good.
Let's do it again.
Good.
Let's do it again, mostly for you.
Every movement that I make, whether it's a shoulder niche or my eyebrow moves or my mouth opens, the dog is paying attention 100% of the time. And right now he's focused on you, but he's paying attention. Good.
Okay, now put the leash in the other hand. That's it. Whoops. Now we can't have that.
This week is training, and I'm with Ranger today, and tomorrow I'll be with another dog, Rosa. However, in a few months I'll be given my own dog from the foundation.
The key word is given. The dogs are donated to their handlers, usually firefighters, but it costs the foundation about $10,000 to train each animal.
There is no cost to the firefighter for the professionally trained dog. There is no cost to the fire department for the Search Dog Foundation to train the handler.
And where do the dogs come from? You might think they're handpicked from certain select breeds. Not so. Every single dog trained as a rescuer was rescued itself from the local animal shelter.
Now I see here's one, but no interest in my toy. It is a fascinating thing to see an unwanted animal, an animal that's been tossed onto the trash heap, that is in danger of being euthanized within a few days. Ah, what have we here? See that dog turn into a wonderful, highly trained animal. It's a beautiful sight to see.
Once she finds one with potential, she runs it through a series of tests.
We look for dogs that are over the top in energy, boldness, focus, and drive. I'm not talking about the active dog who loves to play ball. I'm talking about over the top, but can focus.
If the dog passes, then it's off to doggy boot camp. And this is the main training ground, a pile of rubble, cement, and debris. The dogs aren't on a leash and don't wear collars that could get caught in the rubble. So the handler has to watch carefully from the sidelines as his dog tries to locate a person buried beneath the debris. Their incentive? Each find is greeted with the greatest exuberance.
Oh, good job! Oh, way to go, Duke! Oh, man! It's not like he's getting a big reward. It's not like the big steak dinner or $100. Just to chew on a piece of hose. That's all he's doing this for. Come on, old man. You're holding up traffic.
During the practice rubble exercise, the dogs are always rewarded by the person that they find. But what happens during a real disaster when there are few survivors, or maybe none at all? Well, to keep the dogs motivated, members from the rescue search team take turns hiding in the rubble so that the dogs can practice finding them.
If this was a real search, your dog just made penetration like that and you're coming up, how do you know where your dog is other than the bark?
Taking a rescue dog is a serious commitment. They're matched to handlers for the life of the dog. They live together, at home, at work, on vacations, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
He's so much more than a pet and a coworker and a tool, but he is, you know what? He's unconditional love.
Every dog that we accept into the program, whether they end up being assigned to a handler or not, has this lifetime care guarantee. Once rescued, they never need to be rescued again.
But the training doesn't stop here. To work on national disasters, the teams must be certified by FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency. That can take over a year.
The actual certification test, if you've trained right, it's a piece of cake. But it's the leading up to it. It's the continuous training.
Wilma's foundation has graduated 88 rescue teams. And as long as there are dogs in shelters and resources to train them, she'll continue putting dogs and humans through their paces. I'm Ana Cuevas for Life and Times.